asking about, but it's like a weird thing. This sexual Kundalini thing that can happen when you meditate, and I guess it started with me. It just, I guess my question is, well, we got to the question. It started as now I'm 40. I was 21. I started meditating. Then sometime, the long silent meditations. And it actually started happening back then. I had no idea what that was going, it's just like lots of that. And then, so I shifted from silent meditation to, energy, like filling my body with other, like energy things. And because then it didn't happen as much, And then I was getting back into your course here and doing the asanas. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to figure that out, whatever that is. And it's not like dangerous or it's not like bad, but it's also intense, So, and I noticed actually sometimes I drop out of doing meditations because I'm like, well, this meditation just brings it on, and this other one, because I want to be in peace as well. Or is it peace? I don't know. This is the question. I don't really know. And with the banishing ritual, it came even more, this kind of, it comes even more. So then I stopped doing that because I'm like, yeah, it depends which mood I am in, it doesn't, yeah. So that's maybe not from the point of view. The other guy was talking about, what's her name? Istara. Ishtar, yeah. So I never had like a message of who or what that is. And I've actually not talked about to my like group of like, practitioners, which is not exactly what you do, something else, because it's like a weird thing. But it's also not, as you have taught us and talked about these Kundalini experiences. Yeah. So I'm just wondering about how to find more information about that because I don't know.
Okay. Well, the Ishtar thing is it's like everything in magic. It's like people have experiences and they tend to be unique to them. It's not like there are experiences that you have to have.
Yeah.
Come and go for people, and they're just they're interesting, but that's it. They're passing experiences. In terms of Kundalini, all actual spiritual techniques will raise Kundalini.
Right.
So, and it's not necessarily the technique itself. It's just you interacting with it, right? Because it's your nervous system.
Right.
So the key with Kundalini is Kundalini awakening happens, can be pushed and refined through yoga. It tends to happen in its own time, but it can be accelerated through yoga, but that tends to involve renouncing one's life to only spirituality because it tends to fuck up everything else in your life in the sense that you can't really focus on much else. So the thing with Kundalini is that, yes, you accept the experiences when they come, but just allow them to pass and happen of their own accord. Don't try to force it.
Well, I'm thinking the other way around, like thinking like, I'm just trying to meditate and it kind of, like you said, sometimes it doesn't happen all the time, of course, but I guess it happens more to me than it does to like some of my friends, whatever.
Yeah, because you're doing courses in magic.me.
Yes, but so
I don't want to humble brag, but that's because I'm teaching you actual techniques.
Yeah, but I'm kind of thinking the other way, like leave me alone to meditate, right? Why do I have to like, oh, what's going on? I just want to meditate and be quiet.
No, that's the good attitude, right? Otherwise, you'd be city chasing. That's excellent.
Yeah.
Oh, look what I have in front of me. This is interesting. I have it right in front of me, a vertebrae from a spine. I found this. I don't know what creature this is from, but I found it on a hike. So there you go. There's your Kundalini symbol. So
well, I did pick a card because, before like Magic Me, not me, I didn't like ask, even though I have trained in, a form of scrying, I would say clairvoyance practice before this. I just never asked what that was because I was like, that's just a little freaky.
And it is just a little freaky. It doesn't really matter that much. Even when we were talking about topless crying before, it's like these are things that occur along the path. They're not really that interesting in and of themselves. My advice would be simple. It's just continue meditating.
Yeah, and I was feeling, well, the banishing rate, I kind of stopped doing that because it just got worse. But I don't know what you think about that. Is it also, because one is also supposed to not be scared or like be like stopping the processes, but then again, I don't know. I find it distracting.
Okay, well, this is indicative of where you are in the path. So for where you are specifically, so a lot of times I just want to point out, it's like when I give people advice or thoughts, it doesn't automatically apply to everyone because everyone is at different points in their process. And so for you specifically right now where you are, what I would greatly recommend is just focusing on the meditation.
Right.
The reason why you're finding magic distracting and kind of annoying is because it is distracting and kind of annoying, right? When you're at the place that you are, right, which is where you're dwelling more, and you understand the value of meditation, and you're having like Kundalini surges for your place where you are. That's what's important, and also you've seen through enough of it to realize that the other stuff is not as interesting, or valuable, or in integrity with who you are, right? Not that it's not in. What I mean by that is that it's you have to lose your focus on your meditation to do it, which from your level of development is frustrating and aggravating, as it well should be, right? Okay. So you're in the right place. So I would simply suggest just focus on the meditation, but take it easy. You don't need to force it. When Kundalini phenomena like that arise, just allow them to arise. Don't try to push them or force them to be anything. Don't cling to them, but also don't be afraid of them. That's the key to Kundalini. Right. Just allow it to do its thing and it will pass of its own accord. When it passes of its own accord, don't try to get it back or just like say, oh, well, that happened. Okay.
Weird. Yeah. Yeah. It kind of pushes your body a little bit, or for me, yeah. So the Asana was cool to kind of just make it. I guess I was trying to make it spiral inwards instead of like my body going like whoa. Yeah. Because it was moving my body, Yeah.
So that's an excellent technical point. Okay. So the Kundalini. So all right. To use occult language, your energy is circulating throughout your nadis, but also through the Ida, because your body is circulating like that. It's moving through the Ida and Pingala, right? The two serpents that do this, okay, which is causing that. Whatever that actually is, I don't fucking know. But it seems to be a thing. So the goal of meditation, your goal should always be to stay in the central column, the Sushumna. So your goal in general should be to have the energy moving only through the central channel of the spine and nowhere else, up and down from ajna to root.
That's what you just showed me, the spine there.
That's why I showed you. That's why.
Yeah, that's why you showed me that, right?
That's why. The reason for I bet you just thought you were like, okay, goth kid, what the fuck is this? Like, you just thought I was being weird. No, that's why. That's why.
I'm sure it was going to make sense at one point.
No, look, this is a vertebrae, right? I'm glad I have this. Yeah. So you can see the holes, right? The holes are where the spinal nerves go through. This almost looks like a pelvis. Is this a fuck? I hope this is I'm retarded, but you can see there's holes for where the spinal nerves go through, right? So but they're outside the spine. So you get these are the outer nerves. So that's the sympathetic nervous system.
Yeah.
Through the center is the core nerve bundle, right? That goes up to the ganglia and all that and goes into the back of the brain. So that's where you want your focus and your consciousness and that quote unquote energy to be, right? You need the energy of your nervous system refined within the central column.
Right.
And within that, you get the 7 chakras and all of that. And then at advanced levels, then you can learn techniques like Kriya Yoga from actual Indian gurus. For instance, Self-Realization Fellowship is a good place to start. There are many other Kriya gurus walking around. You can do research on your own and see what calls you or doesn't, but it's not a prerequisite. It's just something that some people feel called to at some point. The Indians are the technical masters of Kriya. So, but in general, as a general principle, you want that energy simply going up and down through the central channel, not all over the place in your body, right? Okay. Which is one of the reasons why magic can be a bit tricky, because there's energy fucking all over the place. Yeah. Much like there was a great gay disco song in the 70s called Menergy by Patrick Cowley. It's just like this really like cheesy techno beat, and it just keeps going Menergy over and over again. And then like this other singer comes in, is like, the boys in the background shooting off Menergy. So like that happens a lot.
That sounds great.
So yeah, but you don't want that. You want the central column.
Central thing. Okay.
So yeah, but for where you are, yeah, I don't bother with the magic, but don't bother with written pentagrams and things like that. Just focus on meditation. You can always do a banishing ritual if you feel you need it, right? But
yeah, because the banishing rituals are also, in a sense, for protection, aren't they?
They can be. That's one way you can use
them. Okay, they're not.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. If we're clearing out energy or protection, absolutely.
Yeah, cool. And then the asana just was interesting. You know, I've been through a really rough patch in my life, and practicing the asana there during the Adapt initiative was interesting, because I could really feel the power of the asana in my life. Like, oh, this is what it is to be okay with pain, which I thought was a great lesson. This is how you do it. You stay there, and you go through in life, it's more about going through the motions, you know, and like doing the shit that you have to do when shit hits the fan. But that was a great teacher, you know, the asana.
I'm really happy to hear that. It's so important. I mean, that's kind of one of the big points of asana. It's like pain is okay.
Yeah.
You know, just
sit with it, be with it, and deal with what comes up, you know, in life as well as in the meditation. Yeah. I'm
really happy to hear that. That's one of the best things that occurs. And I think it's one of the best things in magic, that specifically what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's so maturing. It's so important.
Yeah. When it bleeds into life in a way that, yeah. So that was great. So thank you for teaching me that. And that came at a crucial time in my development where I really needed to stay like a pillar in the middle of it all. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
That's what it is. But what you just said, that's it. Even with the spinal thing that I'm discussing.
Yeah.
It's like the pagans, the pagan maypole thing is about that too. I think that's in the Wicker Man. You know, in pagan cultures, they get around the maypole. This demonstrates the nature of reality. When you learn to stay still and immobile, reality revolves around you.
Yeah, exactly. But this kind of Kundalini thing is like kind of embarrassing, I guess, unless you are in like OTO and all these other places where it's a common thing to talk about. But if you're like me, just hanging out with other New Agers, they're secretly practicing the occult. Then or hanging around, whatever. Those are my friends, the so-called light workers, you know, and I love them. They're great, but then I can't talk about those things because they're weird in that community. That's weird.
That's hilarious. But Kundalini, you realize that like Kundalini is like really the only reality in the whole spiritual world. I mean, like that's the core of all spiritual experience. The rest is I'll say this. I'll just say this to not give it away. As you progress further in this, you will come to, I suggest that you may come to realize more and more, or come to the understanding that this is more of the core experience, and the rest of the stuff in the occult, whether it's all like the crazy stuff in the occult or all the crazy stuff in the New Age or shamanism or whatever, that's just shit that people trip out on and see when they're doing these practices. And when you're really in the Kundalini thing, there's nothing. It's mental silence, right? The rest is just like, it's like gas that is vented by the internal processes. It's like in mental flatulence, right? But it's so profound that people think it's something important.
But it's great entertainment.
Right. But that's all it is, right?
It's really cool though to watch, to be like, woo, feels like it's happening.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. That's so well put. It's like, it's cartoons, right? It's like, that's all the astral is. It's like cartoons that are generated during the.
Yeah, your personal Netflix screen, you know? Yeah.
But eventually you will have to cancel your Netflix subscription. I hate to break it to you. And just dwell in the silence.
That's
as
right.
long as you know that. All right. Great work. Congratulations. That's a big deal. All of that is really big deal. So keep at the meditation, and go easy on yourself and take it slow. It'll happen on its own. Unless you decide to really push it, you can do that too. But you got to make sure you feel ready.
Not. I used to push. I'm done pushing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then you're in a good spot.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Good to see you.
Right. Good to see you too.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Hang in there.